Go slow to go fast describes a counterintuitive but recurring dynamic in negotiation. Outcomes reached most quickly are often the result of taking more time at the beginning. The phrase is not an argument for dragging negotiations out. It captures a pattern in which early investment in understanding prevents later delays, friction, and renegotiation. The old image of the tortoise and the hare fits surprisingly well. The hare rushes ahead and appears efficient and fast, but misses things along the way. The tortoise moves slowly, stops and takes stock, and arrives with fewer mistakes and fewer detours. In negotiation, the slow part is rarely the final agreement. It's the early effort to ensure that everyone is talking about the same problem, under comparable assumptions, and with a shared sense of what is actually being decided. This dynamic is easy to recognize in everyday situations. When making a purchase, for example, people often jump straight to price because it feels decisive. Asking about discounts can feel like progress, yet without taking time to understand quality differences, delivery options, installation requirements, what happens, for example, to an old appliance, the negotiation may be happening too early and around the wrong issue. What looks like speed can turn into inconvenience later, once overlooked details resurface. And the same pattern appears clearly in business negotiations. Discussions often move quickly to price before interests, constraints, or expectations have been properly explored. Clients may ask, "What does this cost?" long before it's clear what the offer is actually meant to cover. A number given too early can anchor the conversation around something that is still undefined. The negotiation looks efficient at first, but slows down later when assumptions have to be revisited or then corrected. This is why experienced negotiators often appear slower in the early stages. They spend more time asking, clarifying, and summarizing. Not because they enjoy delay, but because they recognize how fragile early agreement can be when understanding is incomplete. What seems like repetition or hesitation from the outside is often groundwork that prevents reopening the conversation later. Cross-cultural negotiations add another layer to this dynamic. Expectations about pace, trust, and relationship building vary widely. In some contexts, moving directly into contractual detail without first establishing rapport can feel abrupt or even inappropriate. What one side experiences as efficiency, the other may experience as impatience. The result is not speed, but misalignment. Progress stalls not because people disagree on substance, but because they disagree on what should happen first. The effect becomes even more pronounced in complex multi-party negotiations. When many stakeholders are involved, time is not only spent on substance, but on legitimacy, being accepted, for example, as a neutral party, understanding how different groups think, and creating enough trust for open conversation. Large political negotiations illustrate this at scale. In the Northern Ireland peace process of the late 1990s, months were spent on bilateral conversations and confidence building before formal agreements became possible. From the outside, this phase looked slow and inconclusive. In reality, it's the work that allowed later progress to happen at all. From an observer's perspective, the urge to move quickly is rarely about efficiency alone. It's often driven by discomfort. Numbers feel concrete, decisions feel relieving, and closure feels safer than ambiguity. Some people rush because they want certainty. Others rush because they are uncomfortable with negotiation itself and want it behind them. In both cases, speed creates a sense of internal progress that can mask a lack of shared understanding. Seen this way, go slow to go fast is less a technique than a reminder about where time is best invested. The hare's speed is visible, but the tortoise's progress is real. Pausing, checking, understanding, and allowing space for clarification does not necessarily slow a negotiation down. More often, it ensures that everyone is on the same path and avoids costly detours later on.